What were you saying, man? That's one of your what? Pet peeves?
No, peaks. Peaks. It's one of my peaks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. It's a peak for all of us. And it's something that I have to continuously climb, right? I'm always looking to close these deals. But I know going in that if I've got 100 leads, am I going to close 100 deals? No, I'm not. That's just not possible.
No.
Right, Eluz. I have moderate expectations here, like they're reasonable, you know. Kelly, Big Mama.
Absolutely.
Kelly's the big room. He's the room mama of the VIP. We call him Big Mama.
I just graduated that today, but actually I'm being mama to my kid. We just had some surgery today, so I'm keeping an eye on her. So I'm going to be in and out. So.
Okay. Well, is she just something routine? You know, is it?
No, she busted her ankle in 2 places doing a long jump in college. So.
Oh my goodness.
Got a plate and a bunch of screws and stuff in her leg.
Yeah, that's
just brought her home tonight, and I got to keep an eye on her because she's pretty high right now.
Oh, well,
yeah,
you know, yeah,
yeah.
Now's when you can tell her anything in the world that maybe you've been holding back. You know,
right.
That's funny.
So I'm being home mom as well as room mom. So,
yeah.
But I'm going to try and hang with this. So.
Well, you're good at that, though. You know, you're good at this. You know what this reminds me of? I'm looking at the screen. I don't know what you guys' Zoom looks like, but I've got everybody all on one page, and it looks like tic-tac-toe squares. There's 9 of us, and do you remember that Hollywood Squares? I'm like, yep. I'll take Rick. Right, I'm looking for Whoopi Goldberg. I can't find her. You guys remember that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Never mind. Hey, forget it. Circle gets a square. Kelly.
Go ahead, Justin. Ask your question.
That's funny. Okay, I've been preaching the 4 mountaintops, right? And the 4 mountaintops are the 4 important topics when it comes to doing real estate investing, wholesaling, whether that's ugly stuff or whether that's pretty houses, you're doing lease options, or no matter what it is really, but we could say lease options. We could also say co-wholesale. We could say just straight ugly house wholesaling where you're going right to the homeowner. There's only 4 mountain peaks. Do you guys remember me talking about this? Debbie said something about, oh, I like that because it's snowing outside. And y'all remember? Does anybody? Okay, circle gets a square, right? Okay, Kelly. What is one of the 4 mountain peaks? You got to unmute your microphone too. Now, his microphone is muted. You muted your microphone.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
I was in and out of that. I think I watched that one on Facebook because I wasn't able to do Zoom, I think. So is it on – was it one of the 4 strategies? Is that what you mean by mountaintops?
No, the 4 mountain peaks. These are the 4 topics that you as a business owner in the lease options business or the real estate wholesaling business in general, these are the 4 major things that you have to do to get paid. These are the 4 things. So now, like we talk about CRMs, we talk about, getting lead machines that do this, do that, text blasters and ringless voicemails, and which company has the cheapest and the best data on their lists and all of that. And, there's some value in that, but these 4 things are really the only 4 things that have to happen in order for you to be successful at real estate wholesaling. Okay, was I clear on that now? You got it?
Yeah, you're very clear, but I think I'm gonna have to go with a 0 on my box.
Yeah. Hey, it's okay. Hey, no problem. Hey, hey, circle does not get a square. Okay.
I got you, man. I got you.
No. You've been in and out, man. You've had some things going on in your personal life, like with family and things, and you've
Right.
even been doing a lot of traveling, man. So don't take it personal. It's all good. I still love you, and I'm proud of you. Okay, Donald, can you name one of the 4 mountain peaks?
Leeds.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. You got it, leads. Right. You got to be able to get leads, guys. Okay. If you can't get leads, you can't do deals. And that's just the way it is. There's nobody to talk to. There's nothing to do. You're not even in business. You got to ask yourself, hey, am I self-employed or am I just straight up unemployed? Because I don't have any prospects here. All right. So, yeah, leads. And there's never been a better time to be in this business than right now because you can get leads easy. You can do it cheap, and you can do it regularly. Saturday, and PropStream's one way, and automated REI would be another. And you might say, well, there's a dozen other ways. Yeah, there is. And you could spend all your time just messing around with that, or you could just get some leads because that's really what's important. A lead is a lead is a lead. It doesn't matter where it came from. I could have handed it to you. You could have got it from automated REI. You could have got it from PropStream. Okay. And you're going to need to play a bit of a numbers game with leads. I do a certain pattern, a certain rhythm. Okay. And on Saturday's live show, we don't have a guest or anything this week. I want to talk about with you guys, and I want you guys to interact with me, but I want to talk about like what I do as far as schedule goes, like day in, day out, how I put my stuff together, like how I get leads on a regular, but how do I always make sure I've got fresh leads? You know, how do I incorporate that into my day? And what days, okay? What days off do I have? Things like that, you know, so that you can kind of get an idea how you maybe want to structure your stuff. And then also I want to talk about the numbers. Like you have to kind of play in a law of numbers when it comes to leads. Because if you get 5 leads a month, is that enough? Probably not. So you'll definitely want to do, yeah, it's not, you know. You want to have a lot of fresh leads. You want more leads than you can call. Okay. That's what I do. That's what I like. I like it like that. So more leads than I can call. And I have this on a rhythm, and you can have it on an easy rhythm too. So I'm just going to explain on Saturday what my rhythm is, but you know, you'll have to create your own rhythm. Now, who else is in here has got another mountain peak? Good job. Circle gets the square. Donald Johnson. All right. What's the second mountain peak? What's anyone? Name any one of them. Any of the remaining of the 4 mountain peaks. We got leads. Anybody else got one?
I'm guessing follow up. Maybe that's not one of them though.
Well, if by way of follow up you mean converting leads into deals, okay. Yes.
Yeah, that's one of my peaks.
Wait a minute, judges. Yes, you're going to get a pass. All right, you got it. What were you saying, man? That's one of your what? Pet peeves?
No, peaks. It's one of my peaks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. It's a peak for all of us. And it's something that I have to continuously climb, right? I'm always looking to close these deals. But I know going in that if I've got 100 leads, am I going to close 100 deals? No, I'm not. That's just not possible.
No.
Right, Eluz. I have moderate expectations here, like they're reasonable, you know. And so I know that, you know, a professional baseball player, if you're batting 300, like you're really something, right? Well, you know, that's what missing, swinging, missing, striking out 7 out of 10 times. Is that what that means? Anybody a baseball person? Okay. So if a professional baseball player misses 7 out of 10 times, strikes out 7 out of 10 times up the bat. And 3 times out of 10, he might get on base. 3 times out of 10. And that's worth getting paid millions? Are you kidding me? I don't think that's worth getting paid millions, but maybe. But see, here's the thing. He's missing a whole lot more than he's hitting, but he's in a good game, and he can make a lot of money hitting it 3 times out of 10. Now, you might not even hit it 3 times out of 10 being brand new. So, what if you only hit it 3 times out of 30? You need some leads. The second mountain peak would be to close those leads. So you're only going to close a certain percentage. So you kind of got to play that law of averages. So on Saturday, I'm going to talk a little more about those numbers too, and some targets you should be trying to hit. Because if you don't know what the target is, you know, how are you going to have consistency? You're not going to have consistency. So we're going to talk more about that too. What's a third mountain peak? Good one, Rick. Third mountain peak. Anybody got the third one?
Contracts.
Debbie said contracts, but that would kind of be in line with what we were talking about, the mountain we were just talking about climbing, converting those leads into deals. I was wondering about that. There's 2 other things I'm thinking about. Now, we've talked about so far, we've talked about getting deals, right? Leads and converting leads into deals. That's 2 mountains. Now, let's switch to the other side of the business. That's the acquisition side.
You said closing? Did you say closing?
Closing who?
Did you say closing the deal?
Yep. Getting the leads is one mountain peak. Getting those leads converted, motivated seller leads, getting them converted into property deals, contracts.
Finding a buyer.
Yes, that's it, Kelly.
Did I redeem myself a little bit?
Man, you totally have. Just when I thought, you totally do something like this, man, and redeem yourself.
Too funny.
Hey, David, good to see you, man. Good to see you. You ought to unmute your microphone and participate with us here a little bit. The third mountain peak is what did you say again, Kelly?
Finding a buyer.
Yeah, that's it. Finding a buyer. Marketing those property deals to find a buyer, right? So I break that up into. We got more people popping on. We got 2 mountain peaks here. We got, to me, it's marketing that property deal, and then it's the second mountain peak would be closing up that property deal. What contracts, Debbie? That might also come into play here too. So those are the only 4 things that have to happen, right? So again, in review, it's getting some leads. Not too tough these days, not too expensive either. Used to be, not anymore. Number 2 would be converting those leads into deals, right? Talking to those property owners, getting those contracts filled out, okay? Helping people solving their problems, okay? Giving them solutions they didn't know existed. That's the second mountain peak. Follow-up is involved in that for sure, yeah. And then there's only 2 other mountain peaks, and that is marketing that property deal that you just got. Where are you going to do that at? How are you going to do that? And then putting it all together is the 4th mountain peak. Putting the buyer in place with an agreement, and bada bing, bada boom. Now, how much time do we spend thinking about everything else? There's only 4 things in this world that matter as a real estate wholesaler. And if you don't have any deals in your pipeline right now, then you don't even have to worry about 2 of those mountain peaks yet, which is marketing those property deals and finding buyers and then putting the buyer in place. You don't even have to worry about those 2 mountain peaks because you don't have any deals yet. So really, when you're first just getting going, or, starting over, either way, you really only have to focus on 2 things: getting leads and having good conversations with those leads and converting them. Now, I propose that if you are feeling like you're struggling, and I'm looking here at the room, and I could pick out 1 or 2 people that I know that I want to help in this particular way, and that is just getting real simple with it, and just getting on a real easy rhythm with it, and doing the leads, just getting on a real good rhythm. I'm going to talk more about that Saturday, but that's something you guys need to focus on. Put it in your mind as, okay, I just need to get in a real good rhythm of getting leads. Yeah. That's like the lifeblood of the business, right? If you don't have a good flow of leads coming in on a regular, consistent basis, it'd be like skipping heartbeats. You can't do that very much, or you'll be pushing up daisies. Y'all know what I mean by pushing up daisies? Okay. So, yeah, anyway, so you can't, it looked like Debbie was going to say something.
I was just agreeing and saying that, yes, I know, pushing up daisies.
Yeah, you can't be missing them heartbeats too much. What'd you say?
And you can't skip leads. You got to have, and you can't just get a deal and then think, oh, I can coast on the leads for a while. They got to keep coming, or you're going to be done with that deal and then not have anything coming in.
Yeah, and I can tell you that I've been there as a real estate wholesaler many times before. I have been in a position where I had a deal, I got it under contract, I was so excited, so happy. It finally went to closing. I got a little check. I was so happy. Took the wife out to dinner at Outback Steakhouse or something real nice like Applebee's. And next thing you know, like, I'm kind of depressed because I realized that I have literally nothing cooking now. And I just got sick of that feeling, man. And I realized the key to it was I was thinking about this and thinking about that. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm doing everything in the world. I'm trying to redesign my web page. I'm trying to get a business card. I'm trying to get a witty phone number. I'm just wasting time. And I don't have, my lead flow stinks. Okay. Just get on a good rhythm with it, and you can tweak it and change it as you go, but get the machine producing leads. That's how I picture it in my mind. I have a lead machine, and it makes leads every week, week in, week out. Some of them I don't even call. That's just the facts. I still make the leads even if I don't call them. Why do I do that? Well, sometimes I just got more leads than I can do, and then besides that, sometimes I'm tired, and this is my business, and I can lay down if I want to, right? So that's okay. But at least I know that the blood is pumping. I got the leads. Hey, if I want to get up and go in there and sit at the desk, I can call leads. I got leads. That ain't the problem, right? Okay. So I've climbed the first mountain. That's the best thing. Climb that first mountain, y'all. That's my best advice to you tonight. I don't know why I felt like I wanted to share that, but climb that mountain. Get those leads on a rhythm. If it means you got to buy a new list every week of 250 names, okay, do it. Set it up on a rhythm. Do it every Monday. If it means you got to do a scrape of Craigslist and Zillow, both on automated REI, then do it every Monday. Do a text blast every Tuesday or Thursday or whatever. Okay. Get a rhythm with it. And then closing those deals. That's the second mountain peak. That's the only 2 things you got to concern yourself with when you're first getting going. That's it. And I think, and what I was going to say when I picked out a couple people in the room here, I was saying, I bet that some of your frustration comes from
rain.
Not, like you don't have leads enough to accomplish what it is you're trying to accomplish. Okay. So that's the thing you got to ask yourself. Okay, now I'm making some calls. I'm doing the rhythm. I've got that. Okay, so you're climbing mountain 2. You've got the calls you're making, and you're trying to convert leads, but you're just not able to get enough leads and enough flow, enough consistency. So everything just is kind of handicapped. And I bet there's a couple people in the room that are kind of going through that. And it's not because you're not as good as you think you are on the phone. You're actually pretty good on the phone. It's just that you don't have a good, strong lead flow. I don't care if the next 10 leads tell me no, because number 11 and 12, they might tell me yes. Or if number 20 tells me no, because I've got 35, 40 leads. I got 50 leads this week. I don't care. I'm going to find a deal in there. There is just no mathematical way I'm not going to find a deal in 50 leads that I'm going to actively work. Okay. Now I've got myself on a rhythm like that. So that's how you create a consistency in your business, not the hit and miss lifestyle. Okay. Which is okay if you want to be part-time in this. But if you don't want to be part-time in this, you got to do something consistent. All right, that's my soapbox, y'all. That's my soapbox. Rick.
Amen to that, though.
That's a good soapbox.
Yeah. What do you guys think? I mean, is a rhythm is it as important as maybe I say it is? I mean, I really believe it is. But when I look at other people, and of course everybody's life is scheduled so differently, you know, like none of us in this room are doing the same things at the same times of day. Not really. And so everybody's routine, everybody's machine has to be different. It has to be catered to you. But I think this is also one of the hardest things to overcome, because it's like creating good habits, you know. And I heard a guy, I know this probably a little bunny trail, but I heard a guy tell me one time that all large things that you see are created and made up of little tiny pieces, right? Do you believe that? Like they say your human body is made up of 10 billion, you know, cells or whatever, whatever the number is. And then those cells are made up of smaller atoms or molecules, and then molecules are made up of atoms, and then atoms are made up of, you know, everything big. This table that's sitting in front of me, this coffee table, it's actually not really just a coffee table. It's, if you could look at it closely enough, it's made up of all little parts, just little tiny pieces. I feel like your business is the same way, guys. So, you know, don't be like trying to take the whole bite at once. Break it down into these little pieces, these mountain peaks, and get the leads, and then break that down even if you want, and say, hey, you know, I'm going to climb that mountain. Every Monday, I'm going to do a scrape. Every Tuesday, I'm going to do a text blast. Every Thursday, I'm going to sit down and start making those return calls. And Friday and Saturday, I'm going to do my follow-up. Whatever your rhythm is, okay? Sunday, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to take the day off, you know, spend it with my wife. So you got to get that rhythm, guys. I mean, I think it's a tough thing to overcome, but break it down into a daily habit. That way you're successful just by virtue of the fact that you're doing it. If you do something every day for 30 minutes, at the end of the week, you've spent nearly 4 hours doing this one activity. Think about how that adds up. Yeah. So 30 minutes of marketing on Monday, you set yourself up for the whole week. Do it every week. All right, enough about that. I'm just beating a dead horse. You guys look like Donald's asleep. Kelly's already switched over to HBO. David Tran. Over there. David's thinking about having seconds leftovers or something. What'd you say, Kelly?
I just wanted to say something. You know, I mean, I really appreciate what you just said, because I think that's a good plan because I myself, I don't know about anybody else, I get scatterbrained. I'm like, well, I'm going to look for leads this morning, and then I'm going to, send out some mailers this afternoon. Man, that's a great concept. Say, you know what? All I'm going to do is find leads on Monday. I'm going to do a text blast on Tuesday. I'm going to make some calls on Wednesday. I mean, that's really good stuff, man. I appreciate that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I was going to agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I try and combine it all into one day, and then, if you're anything like me, your mind wanders and you don't get half the stuff done that you thought you were going to get done,
Yeah. I totally understand, man. I totally understand.
Good stuff, Justin. Good stuff.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, don't feel alone, man. That definitely happens to everybody. I'm restructuring and re-time blocking. It seems like every day sometimes. Things get out of hand quick, especially when you have systems in place that generates a lot of leads, and then you kind of have to structure yourself to keep the follow-up and keep things moving, falling forward, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect. Excellent.
Very good.
Man, he has such a way of saying things so succinctly. You know what I mean? Rick does, doesn't he? That's great.
You're funny, man.
Like, he just gets right to the point. That's funny. I was thinking about that, the way I talk and just meander my way through a topic. Like I've got some students out of New York. You know how New York people are, right? Like, they're all about like talking fast and getting right to it, I'm like, I bet I literally, they think fast, talk fast. I bet I drive them people absolutely bonkers. I bet they're like, man, this guy could not slow down any more than he already is. The tortoise and the hare, the tortoise, he won. Hey, I see Vanessa here.
Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, I'm so sorry I'm late today. I'm so sorry.
Robinson,
I have a son who's actually made it to the NBA, and he's playing tonight on the Houston Rockets.
What?
So he's not playing yet. He's on the bench, but yeah. So yeah, I know he's there. He just doesn't really have any playing time unless they're like blowing the team out. But we hope that they do that. But they've been losing lately.
Wow.
Who's the player?
Wow. That's incredible, Vanessa.
I know.
Yeah.
His name is Michael Frazier, and we're hoping.
Michael Frazier plays for the Houston Rockets, you said?
Yeah, he just got a two-way. It's a two-way contract. That means that he
Going
goes
back and forth to the
goes from the G League to the NBA, going back and forth, and hopefully it'll turn into a permanent one.
Yeah, I know who exactly that is. I didn't know that was his son. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I was busy trying to get that, the TV all set up for my husband, because he's worse than I am when it comes to internet, and he's more technically challenged, I guess.
Well, do you have time for a role play, Vanessa, or do you have the nerves about you to be able to do it tonight? I know you got this other stuff on your mind, kind of, but.
Oh no, yeah, I have I can definitely do the role play. I don't have any. I'm gonna just do it off the top of my head because I have nothing in front of me.
Yeah,
so,
that's great.
I'll just do it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do we have a homeowner volunteer tonight to do our role play for the evening? Anybody? Anybody want to be the homeowner? Come on, everybody. Man, you guys make me feel like I'm out here on a limb because everybody got their cameras off tonight. Like I'm at the very top. I'm at the very top of my screen. Everybody's down here like it's a big pyramid, and I'm on top.
Kelly's got his screen on. He wants to.
Kelly.
Hi there.
Kelly and Vanessa gonna do a role play tonight.
Okay.
Mitzi, this is what we do. We role play like this. In other words, we just get together and we practice a little bit, and we mess up and we correct each other, and we give each other better advice, and because we get leads, and then we got to call them leads and make them turn into deals, and sometimes I'm nervous about that. And
Yeah,
so
you know what? Speaking of that, Justin, I called like 5 people, and one I'm telling you, I had the paper, the questions in front of me, and I just totally blanked out. And then when I hung up the phone, I was so mad at myself because I forgot to ask so many important questions, and I was beating myself up. I couldn't believe I did that.
Yeah, that's the struggle, right? The struggle is real, right?
Oh my God, terrible.
I've been there. I've done that. Yep. And the only thing you can do is just call them right back. That's what it helps if you have an accountability partner that's kind of working a little closely with you, and they can say things like that to you right in the heat of the moment. Call that guy back. Rick did that to me one day on a Q&A we were doing, live show. He was like, call him back. I was like, what? You said do what, Rick? Call him back. Call him back now. I was Rick, dang it. Bob Saget. Okay. Anyway, nobody gets that joke. All right.
Nice.
That's why Rick's the daddy.
What'd you say?
I said that's why Rick's the daddy. He can do that.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
She saw that too? Oh man.
Yeah.
I didn't delete it fast enough.
I only saw part of it.
I have a question. Why does the room's daddy and the room's mommy not love each other? This is a dysfunctional ass family here, y'all.
Exactly.
No, that's just a different room.
That's the breakout room.
Everybody's struggling to wear the pants in this family, so. And Justin's the one holding the pants, so.
That's funny. Oh, that's great. Okay, we got Vanessa doing the role play. She's gonna call. We just practice, Vanessa, and take a deep breath, and make sure before you call, you do this little practice that I do, and it's just close your eyes for 5-10 seconds, whatever it is, and just kind of step into the role,
Okay.
And sometimes the day around us, sometimes the environment around us is distracting. You got to just somehow kind of step into that role. You got to imagine like an actor or an actress does right before they say action.
Okay.
Okay. Because there is a bit of acting involved here. I mean, you're trying to sound good. You're trying to come off good. You want to do good, and I think you do pretty good, Vanessa. I don't know why you'd be scared. So why don't you and Kelly kick it off? Was it Kelly?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you kick it off there whenever you're ready with a ring.
Okay. Ring, 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 ring.
Hello.
Wait a minute, Vanessa. Do you need 5 or 10 seconds to switch that flip that switch?
Oh.
Switch that flip. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Give me 2 seconds.
All right. Just take your time. Just relax. Okay. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Okay, I'm good. Okay, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Vanessa. I'm a real estate investor. I'm calling about the house that you have for sale on Zillow. Is it still available?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Well, like I said, I'm a real estate investor, and I've been looking at your property, and it looks really interesting to me. And I was hoping that I could just ask you a few questions about it, and you can ask me a few questions. If at any point you don't really care for the solution I have, then you can just tell me no right away. How does that sound?
That sounds fair enough.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. So, like I said, I was looking at the property. I was wondering, about the condition of the place. If you could rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
It's probably about a 7 or 8, I would guess.
7 or 8. Okay. And what do you think? And I'm sorry, I didn't get your name, sir.
My name's Kelly.
Kelly. Okay, Kelly. And what would you think? How much do you think that I would have to spend getting it up to a 10?
Well, I was told by a roofer that it needs a roof, and they told me that was going to be about $6,000. And I think my hot water heater's leaking a little bit, so that'll be probably 1,000. And then maybe some carpet. I had a dog that I was watching for a neighbor, and it messed in a couple of the rooms, so it's probably going to need carpet too. So probably a couple thousand there. Should be under 10,000.
Under 10,000. Okay. Okay. And how much did you want for the property?
I'm asking 150,000.
150,000. Okay. And how did you get to that particular number?
Well, I was talking to a few neighbors, and they said the house down the street that's similar to mine sold for 160. So I thought, well, if it's worth 160, I'll take 10,000 off for the repairs, and so I'd like to get 150.
150. Okay. Well, that sounds pretty fair. How long have you lived in the property?
I've lived there about 8 years.
8 years. Wow. Okay. That must feel like home to you, huh? What is the reason for you to want to move now? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, no problem. I just got laid off from my job, and it was pretty substantial, but I'm older, and now I can't seem to get back in the workplace, and the next best job I can find is going to move me out of state, and it's going to pay substantially less. So I'd really like to downsize because it's just me now. So I don't need that big of a house.
Yeah. Well, I can definitely relate. I have a friend that was in the same situation, and it was tough. I mean, she lost her job as well, and she still had that mortgage payment, so that's not something that you have to deal with, is it?
I do have a mortgage. I believe my balance is somewhere around 70 or 75,000. So I'd like to take some cash out and just buy me a smaller house and maybe pay all cash or something. So I don't have to worry about a mortgage.
Yeah, definitely understand that. Wow. Well, like I said, I'm a real estate investor, and honestly, I don't know, at 150,000, I don't know how I could make a profit, purchase it for that amount and still make a profit. But what I would like to do is, I'm wondering if you would be interested in me leasing the property for a couple years and then paying you in full after the 2 years. Would you consider something like that?
I don't know if I could do that because I was really wanting to take the cash out and buy a smaller house where I'm moving to for this new job. What do you think you can give me for it? Just ballpark without,
Well, let me ask you something. How much do you think you would need for the other house?
I'm trying to scale way down and probably find something in the $50,000 to $70,000 range or something. Something I could hopefully, after I pay off my mortgage, pay all cash for, or pretty close. Just so I don't have to worry about a mortgage payment.
Oh, okay. So you want to pay all cash so you want to have all the cash.
I would like that, yeah.
Would like that? Okay.
I'd like to have all cash just to wash my hands of it, but I'd be interested in, it's been on Zillow for 125 days, and I just have a bunch of people that come in and say that they're going to have to sell their house first, and I just haven't had anybody that's been real solid.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you something. If I could, if this was a perfect world, Kelly, and I could, get you what you're looking for, get you a fair cash offer, or, get you some cash now so that you can move. If I could solve all those problems for you and come up with a solution, would you be open to doing business today?
Yeah, sure. If it makes sense for me. I'm not real familiar with dealing with investors, but I'd sure listen to whatever you'd like to propose to me.
Okay.
I mean, the worst I could say is no, right?
Right, exactly. I'm sorry, I have to stop here because I'm confused. I don't know which way to go with this one. It sounds like it could be a cash offer, but because of the amount, but it's not that much work to be done. So these are the ones that are tough for me because I don't know if it's a cash offer because it's not that much work. And I'm always thinking ugly house, but this doesn't sound like a 7 or 8 doesn't sound like it's that bad.
Let's talk about it. What's the numbers again?
I think it's worth 160. I'm sorry if I jumped in on that, but
no,
I think it's worth 160. It's got a little less than 10,000 worth of repairs. I'm wanting 150 to take care of the repairs, and I owe 70 or 80, something like that.
Okay. All right, that's the deal. Now, anybody got opinions on? So what she's saying is she's saying she's in the qualification stage of the conversation, and she's asking all these questions, and she's gathered information, and she's having a hard time coming up with a good exit strategy. So she doesn't know what to offer.
So should I do multiple?
Say that again, Vanessa.
Should I do multiple? Just email him multiple offers then, and just hopefully no.
You could, or you could do something different. Anybody else have any opinions before I vocalize mine?
I do, but we haven't talked about it, I don't think, or at least not since I've been coming in. With under 10,000 in repairs, it probably depends on where it is and whatnot, but it could be a hotel opportunity instead of a wholesale.
Yeah, that's true. You could.
He can have a house refinance, and you pay for a refinance for him.
Yeah, there could be something like that, maybe. What about anything else?
Well, you really got to dig to see how much motivation they actually have. I always shoot for wholesale first. I like to go digging, and then I really get to see how motivated are they. And then that kind of gears me in a different direction. Even if it's on Zillow, because Zillow sometimes has great pictures, has a great description, but then I'll just say, hey, what are you going to do if you don't sell this on Zillow? And I like to get an idea of like what's on their mind. Oh, okay, I see. Well, hey, listen, I got some questions about the property. The more information I have, the better offer I might be able to put together. And then I just dig right in.
Oh, that's
just
good.
my 2 cents.
Yeah. What are you going to do if it doesn't sell? Is great. That's the one that I got to stick in my mind. And maybe at this point, since I know he owes about 80,000 in mortgage, I could say, are you willing to give me a little bit of a discount on that? Because
exactly.
I can't really go to 150 and make a profit off of it. It wouldn't make sense for me as a real estate investor. But Mr. Kelly, would you be negotiable at all with that price? I could send you an offer if you are. But if you're firm on that number, then, it's just not going to work that way.
Okay, if it doesn't work that way, then what way could it work? Okay, because you're going to want to make an offer to this guy, or you're going to want to ask him if he would be okay with this kind of offer. He's going to be he's going to be a cash offer for you. If you want to go that route, you could, or you could offer this guy could you offer him a creative solution like
like a subject to, I can take over the mortgage.
Well, he probably wouldn't want to do that because he only owes 75,000.
Yeah.
But you could do something else creative. What could you do here?
Owner finance.
Oh,
You could do an owner finance. He could carry, yeah.
Or what's the one where you can? I mean, it's like a lease option, but it's for like work for equity type of thing.
Not
where
sure
you
what
get where you get somebody to lease the home, but that tenant buyer would be like a somebody who fixes, who's handy, who can do that.
Yeah, exactly. Are there people out there? Are there couples? Are there families? What have you out there that would love to get into a house that they could call their own, or work towards it being their own, and they don't mind putting in a little elbow grease? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what that's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in other words, he's handy with a hammer and a saw, and she's handy at hanging drywall, and they're going to go in there and patch the holes, and he's going to lay the carpet. And yeah, I like it. I think there's a lot of people out there like that. So
me too. Yeah.
You have to decide, what are you going to offer this guy?
Hey, Justin, can I say something real quick before you ask her for the offer?
Yeah.
Is there a way for her to tell, or I'm sure there is, but is there a way for her to say to me, hey, Kelly, you said that your house was worth 160 and you thought there was a little less than 10 grand worth of repairs. But it has been sitting on Zillow for 125 days. Is there a way to say, for her to politely say to me, maybe the repairs are more than what you thought, and maybe the house isn't quite worth 160, and then tie it in there somewhere with the whole thing you guys said about, well, I'm an investor, and it just doesn't leave much room in there. But I mean, is there a way to politely say, hey, dude, maybe you're smoking dope, kind of a thing?
I've kind of I've had that situation, and I asked them, I was like, hey, it looks like it's been on Zillow for about 75 days. Can you give me an idea of why you think it hasn't sold yet?
Yeah.
There's a good, ask them a question. That's good.
That's a killer question, man.
Yeah, that is
good.
Because
you use that same questions in both. You brought that up twice. That works both ways.
Cool.
Yeah, really kind of it's just a nice way of getting them to open up a little bit more, because there's got to be more to it. If it's been on the market for 75 days, obviously we know the price isn't good, or there's something wrong with the house, or something else is happening. And that's just one way to get them to open up. And again, it's just kind of one of those determining the pain and and how extensive it is.
I was just looking for an avenue to where they wouldn't feel offended, by going, I bet your roof's gonna, or your repairs are gonna be 20 grand, and I bet your house is only worth 140, and you know what I mean? But do it in a polite way without offending them.
In your dreams, and then you wake up, 10K
in your dreams,
10K, and then you woke up. Come on, like that. You just got to come right out with it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I should just come out flat out and say, Kelly, what do you really need out of this deal to make you just sign the paperwork? What do you?
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
What's gonna make us do business today, now, right here?
What do you need, Kelly? But tell me, what do you really need to help us move forward and do business today?
Yeah, I would have to.
What's your bottom line, Kelly? What's your bottom line?
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking now that it's been on Zillow for 125 days, and I really don't want to do the repairs because I just want to move on and take my lower paying job, and because I don't want to go back to college or anything like that. So I'm wanting to move. I don't know, might entertain something to where you give me some down payment money so I can move to a lower price house, and something like that. I don't know. I'm going to need a little bit of cash because I can't just walk away and have you take over my mortgage.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's a little bit of cash? What give me a round number.
Perfect. Perfect.
I don't know, probably like 10,000, 15,000, something. I'd need some money, to move. And if I can't afford a house right away, or if I can't qualify for another mortgage, since I still have this existing mortgage, I'm probably going to need to either rent a place or something until I get established in this. Because this job I'm taking is in a different town, quite a ways away, a couple hours. So.
Okay. Well, Kelly, what I would like to do, I would like to send you an email, and you can look over the paperwork. It's going to give you some information about the company and maybe answer some questions. And by all means, if you agree with everything on the paperwork, sign it and send it back to me. And I'll give you a call later on tonight around 7 o'clock. And hopefully that'll, we can talk then, and I can answer some more questions if you have any. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great. Can you do me a favor, Vanessa, and maybe do a couple of things? Send me what you could cash me out for, so I know how much, after my mortgage payoff would be. And then also send me that other thing you were talking about where you were planning on rent or leasing to own or something like that for 36 months or whatever you said earlier. I'm sorry, I can't remember what you said earlier in our conversation, but maybe send me over a couple of different offers or something, and let me sit down and think about it.
Yes.
Before you call me back. I mean, I'd like to read through your email.
Okay, yeah.
You have.
That's exactly what I was planning on doing. I'm going to send you, a couple of different offers there, because I want to make sure that, that it's a win for you and a win for me. So I'll send you the information. And you think we can speak at 7 o'clock tonight to kind of wrap things up?
Yeah, that should work, as long as I get that email and have time to look it over. And my brother-in-law, he dabbles a little bit in real estate, and so if I have any questions, I might confer with him and see if it's a good deal for me.
Absolutely.
Just because this is my only house, so I have no idea how these things work. So.
Yeah, you sound like a smart guy, Kelly. I want you to do that. That's great. That's a wonderful idea. I want you to, look it over really carefully. And, like I said, we can talk at 7 o'clock tonight. And if you have any more questions, you can ask away. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
All right. So we'll talk tonight.
Okay. Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate it. Hope we can get something done.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I like it. Okay. Now, excellent role play. I thought you did great, Vanessa. I don't know if anybody else wants to critique you or give you any
critique
encouragement or advice or anything. They should feel free to. I think here we're all family. Yeah, you did great. Did really good. There's a couple of ways you could go about this. The way you did go about it, I thought was fine. I thought nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I would have went about it a little bit more aggressively, personally. Now, if he'd have said to me, send me, I don't remember what you called it. It was a lease, was something, and just send me a couple offers or whatever, and I'll take a look at it and I'll talk it over with my brother or whoever it was, and we'll talk again at 7 tonight. I would have said this. I'd have said, Kelly, what I'd like to do is I'd like to know exactly what it is that you want, so that I can put that down in the agreement, and so that we don't have to play any guesswork or try to, wander the path down to where we want to go. If you can tell me exactly what it is that you want, I'll see if I can accommodate that. We'll put it right here in the agreement. Before we get off the phone, I'll know exactly what to do, and it'll look like something you'll be ready to work with. Does that seem more reasonable to you? That'll save us both time.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So
see, I don't know how to be like aggressive like that. Like, I don't know how to do that, but I can remember that now. That's good. Yeah. Just tell me. Instead of wasting our time, you get the paperwork and then you're like, no, this is not what I want,
Yeah. Yeah, like I could send you, I could send you shit to read all day long, and it doesn't mean anything. I mean, what do you want? Let's talk about what you really want, and then I'll send you that.
Exactly.
If you just want stuff to read, get a Reader's Digest subscription. So send it every month. But the way you did it though, not wrong. I not insinuating that whatsoever. I thought you did great. You could have done it the way you did it, and it would have been just fine. Okay, just a matter of differences and presenters, really. That's it.
Yeah, but he could have gotten the information and said, "Oh, I don't like any of this,"
or been more confused. Had more questions come up. The more things you do like that, the more objections you're going to raise as well. That's why I try to go right for the jugular there a little bit, because I know that anything besides that, he's asking me for things he doesn't even know what it is. And so I don't know that he'll even understand if I send him this stuff.
Right.
And then his brother's probably a jerk, so who, I don't know.
Hey, come on, man.
Well, usually one brother's really, really sweet and the other one's kind of a jerk, so you're the
There you go. There you go, man. Thanks.
I got three brothers, and I'm sorry, I'm one of three sons, and so I have two brothers. One is a preacher, and the other one is like a vagabond. He just travels the earth. And I'm somewhere stuck in the middle, I guess. I don't know. So that's
I will say this to Vanessa, man, you were really, really smooth on the phone. I enjoyed talking to you because you didn't go or things like that. I mean, you really sounded to me like you knew what you were talking about.
Yeah, you sounded like a real estate investor.
Yeah, she did.
Oh my goodness. That's without papers in front of me. I think I sound better without the papers.
I think you do too. Yeah, throw away the paper. I've always said it, and hey, this works good at church too. Formulas are for babies.
Yeah, that's true.
But when you grow up, you have to put away the childish things, and the formulas, they go by the wayside, because now you got the meat, right? You know what to do with it. You can handle it. So I think you're kind of there, maybe, just get rid of that thing. It's a distraction now, and just go for it. Cause I think you know what you're doing, really. You just need to get that confidence that you do know what you're doing.
Yeah. So what would you have done with this type of house? You would have done a cap.
I would have done a lease option is what I would have offered. I would have offered a lease option for the 150, and then I would have for 24 to 36 months, and then I would have tried to place a tenant buyer at 160, because it's really worth 160.
Okay.
And it would have been one of those tenant buyers that wants to do a little elbow grease and put it, they'll put some work into it, but it'll be equity they get to keep, because it'll be worth at least 160 when they go to buy it, if they do this work to it. And there you go, instant equity. So I would do that, and then I would just wholesale assign that deal to the tenant buyer. I wouldn't stay in the middle as a sandwich. I would wholesale that deal off to the tenant buyer for a down payment. Now, here's the problem with this kind of deal. When the tenant is looking at the property and he's saying, okay, the drywall needs patched, the carpet needs repaired or replaced, the linoleum is torn, I want to lay down some tile down there, I want to do some nice things. Okay, first of all, you're going to have the seller's permission to make improvements to the property, which he'd be dumb to say no to.
Yeah.
But then you're also going to have to consider that tenant buyer is going to come to you in the middle of this transaction, and he's going to say, he's going to say, hey, I got $5,000 I'm going to have to put in materials into this house. And then you're asking me for another $10,000 in down payment. That's more than I got, buddy. So can you just make what we're putting into the house the down payment? Okay. That's what they're going to try to hit you up with. And if he's slick, okay, so you have to be prepared to say, hey, listen, I understand that there is $4,000 or $5,000 worth of materials that you're going to have to invest in this over the period of time to do the sweat equity, and to get that sweat equity, but I'm still going to need a down payment of $3,000 or $4,000. So if this deal doesn't fit for you, so in other words, I'll lower my entrance fee a little bit because I know the guy's going to have to come out of pocket right away for some stuff.
Right.
But it's still money to me. I don't care. It's not a big, huge win deal. Well, it's not a big win, but it's a win. I'm going to get some cash, and I'm not going to have to do anything, and I'm going to solve both parties' problems. Now, in that scenario, I made it sound like you're only going to get $3,000 or $4,000. You might get 5, you might get 10, but your chances are you're going to have to work with the guy a little bit on that, because depending on what needs to be fixed in that property, he might have to go in and immediately buy a new vanity for the bathroom and replumb this, or who knows what.
Right.
I would also drop on them, Justin, that in 24 to 36 months, you typically get in this market about 3% appreciation per year. So
that's so true.
The house is going to be worth somewhat more if it's $100,000 house, and 2 years it's going to be worth 106. Plus the improvements that he's done. So that's just an extra bargaining chip.
Yeah, so they're going to get a property. Contracted price for them will be it'll be 150 plus whatever down they have. So let's say it's 5. So they're getting it in at 155. It's worth 160 today. It'll be worth 170 in 2-3 years. So we're talking about $15,000 in equity. Only part of that is sweat equity. So they're getting some bonus equity. Yeah, it really does make sense for everybody to do it that way. I think it does.
Yeah.
You could do a subject to deal, not in this case, but not a subject to, an owner finance deal. You could do that, where hey, would you be willing to carry the note for me for 36 months? Would you be willing to be the bank for me for 36 months, and then I'll pay you outright? Balloon payoff in 36 months. That might work. So you just have to decide what you want to do. I like the lease options. That's me.
Yeah. I like lease options too. I just kind of, every time they say 7 or 8, it just throws me for a loop. I'm like, oh, okay. I think I could still do the lease option, but I think you could go either way, I think, but it just depends on the motivation, whether or not you do the cash, because that could be insulting to them, I guess, if it's too low.
Yeah. I totally agree. And in this case, I didn't feel like that was really a great option. Maybe I was misreading Kelly, but I don't think he would have taken an offer at 160. We're looking at 110.
105, 110,
yeah, something like that. I don't think he would you have taken a cash offer of 110 if she just said, okay, well, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll write up the agreement right now for 110, send it right over to you?
Probably not, because I'd only walk away with $30,000 or so, maybe 40.
Oh, after the mortgage. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So overall, good play. Thank you for participating, Vanessa and Kelly both. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. We've been here for quite a while, so let's wrap it up. Anybody got anything else they need to share before we sign off? We've lost a few here along the way. They had to put the children to bed, or they had to wash their hair. I'm not sure. Something. All right, guys. I love you.
I got to get ready for
Thanks, Justin.
here.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Have a good night, Debbie. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye,
All right.
Justin.
Bye-bye.